Hello there and welcome to GameByte. My name is Brett Claxton and today we are showing off Season 5 of Fortnite. It's done it again and changed everything. We can't wait to show it off, but before we do, obviously please do make sure to like and subscribe because it means so much to us, and turn on that notification button as well. Tell us what you think of Season 5 of Fortnite down in the comments. What's your favourite part? We'd love to know. So without further ado, let's look at the Battle Pass. You have two standard skins to start with, which are Drift and Huntress. Drift is also upgradable, which is pretty interesting, and isn't the only one in the Battle Pass that has various tiers of upgrading too. It means it encourages you to, build up that XP so you can unlock cooler versions of the costume. In the first page as well, we also see a variety of emotes and the standard stuff we usually do. The most interesting emote on the first page is probably the Gentleman's Dab. Fairly standard emote, but who doesn't love a smart dab? On the second page we get our first look at toys, and you can see a basketball there looking pretty cool, and you get to throw it like a basketball. On the free pass you can also see a backpack there that's pretty nifty, but most importantly on page 2 you see a beautiful pickaxe that's made up of inflatable balloons, and who doesn't love balloons looking like what they shouldn't? Page 3 has a pretty cool trail with lanterns, and it's also got a pretty nifty glider. And the Redline skin is also top work. It looks really slick, and I can see a lot of people playing with that. We then see another toy, the golf ball, on page 4, along with pickaxes and another emote. Over on page 5 we see what is probably my favourite backpack from this Battle Pass, which is a pretty daft inflatable unicorn. The Conquest glider is also amazing. It looks like a Viking boat and it's going to be massive. It's going to be very cumbersome, but who cares? It looks amazing. On page 6 we see a beach ball that can also be used as a toy, along with another emote and a skin that looks very much like someone from Baywatch. Page 7 is a fairly standard page, but also throws in a nice looking shield backpack and a cool trail as well. Page 8 brings in a fancy golf ball, because apparently we need a fancy golf ball, and it's also got the swipe it emote, which is a pretty decent dance. I can see a lot of people using it. Who doesn't love rubbing it in people's faces when you kill them? Page 9 hasn't got a load there, but Sledgehammer is definitely the highlights on it. It's a cool looking outfit. It looks like something out of Call of Duty, which will appeal to a lot of people who like stuff like Call of Duty, I suppose. Over on page 10 we see a fancy beach ball, and that's kind of page 10 really, until you get to the very end of it. And when you get to the very end of it you see the splashdown glider, which is a lifeboat glider, much like the Viking boat glider. It looks really cool. It's a strange idea for a glider, but it really works. It's very unique. On page 11 we've got the toilet paper trail, which is hilarious. I can't wait to see people diving down from the skies covered in toilet paper. And we've got Rook, who seems to be like a badass office worker or something like that. Over on page 12 we have a fancy basketball, and then a ridiculous dance called the breakdown. Page 13 introduces us to Ragnarok, which is the top tier skin for this, and as I said at the beginning, there's more than one that you get to upgrade, and Ragnarok is one of those that has various different types of skins that you can upgrade to. And they look like a Techno Viking. Who doesn't love Techno Vikings? So now we're going to show you some gameplay, a nice variety of areas on display here. One of the things you see here is rifts, and it's a pretty interesting new addition to the game. It takes you to a different part of the map, and it kind of helps if you're ever stuck in a gunfight and you need to escape very quickly, but the randomness will definitely make it interesting to see whether or not you get a bit messed up. And from what we've heard, you can also jump through it in carts, which is where we go to now, because yes, there are vehicles that aren't just shopping trolleys. There's full-on golf carts for your entire squad to just, run about the place, or drive around the place, I should say, and go a bit crazy. You can even get a bit more height if you all move in the same direction, although that may be something they try and patch out in the future. As you can see as well, these Easter Island heads have sort of popped up around the place, as have various other pieces of just little set dressing around the world, because the big theme of this season is worlds colliding, so they're just putting across a huge array of different things from different worlds. In the bottom right, we see a huge change to the map. Moisty Mire is dead, RIP, and in its place is Paradise Palms, which is very much just like the American South, I suppose. Big desert sprawling everywhere, you've even got a gas station, and it's completely different to how the area used to be. There's a few small bits that may be slightly similar, but it's really changed that bottom right completely. Obviously, we saw Moisty Mire upgraded in Season 4 from what it was to include the film set. Now we've just seen it completely change again. Over at the top of the map, we're seeing a tiny bit of gentrification going on, because it seems the farmer's gone and we've got Lazy Links, which seems to be a very fancy golf course, which I'm pretty sure you can go play with that very fancy golf ball. Should probably be quite a good area to go to loot, and you know, it's got a tennis court, which is pretty cool because, you know, who doesn't love a game of tennis? But most importantly, it also has those golf carts, so imagine there's going to be quite a bit of a push to get to that area, especially in the early goings of this season, as everyone tries to find the most logical place to get a golf cart. In the bottom left of the map, you've got this weird looking biking area, which is pretty cool. As you can see, you've got a Viking boat at the top of this waterfall, and just a variety of things there. The boat's pretty interesting to explore, and it adds a nice bit of variety to that area. You know, you've got snobby shores and haunted hills, and now you've got this as well. It's making the West much more interesting to go explore again. Now, the big change in Season 4 was obviously Dusty Depot becoming Dusty Divot, and Dusty Divot has now changed again. It's no longer a massive crater, it's a flourishing wood, basically, which makes it a much more interesting place to go to try and mine some wood, rather than going all the way to the east, where it can be a bit boring to, you know, run about there in Wailing Woods and just mine the wood there. You still have the base in the middle of Dusty Divot. It's going to be a really good place to go if you're trying to build up your resources of wood, but also hopefully find a few bits of interesting loot. And I'm going to shut up for now so you can watch a bit of gameplay in peace. Obviously, as Season 5 progresses, there'll be lots of other little changes going ahead, and we'll no doubt find out even more about the map and find some even cooler things than what we've shown you right now. But that kind of brings us to the end of this video for now. So please, as I said before, make sure to like and subscribe, turning on that notification button. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of Season 5 of Fortnite. And as always, I've been Brett from GameByte. You've been wonderful. Goodbye.